No, I can't see.
He needs glasses.
Okay, are y'all ready?
Yeah.
Okay. Can you see the computer? Okay. There we
We
go.
can see it. It looks like a map.
Hold on, it's frozen. Oh, there it goes. Oh. Alright,
Erica's gone.
he's right there.
Watermelon.
America was created for the sole purpose for its citizens to have equal rights. But today we see many inequalities and huge gaps between certain groups of people. The minority group in America are facing many health disparities due to challenges in their life that can easily be prevented. I previously took in a class called Health and Necessity, which we learned many health disparities that ethnic groups face and reasons why they face these disparities. It is important to be informed on these health disparities so we as a country can come together and help our fellow citizens um, get out or prevent these health disparities that they face on a daily basis. The three main health disparities that the minority groups face are low socioeconomic status, low health education, and inequalities experienced in health services. I am now going to give you more details on these health disparities. Many minorities avoid health services due to the fact that they do not have the financial um, funds to pay for the services that's provided, and because they fall under low socioeconomic status. Have you ever bought something that was less efficient but more affordable? Well, and then realized that the results of the product wasn't very well. Well, minorities face this challenge on a daily basis. In an article that I read by Gray Baker, he quotes that low socioeconomic status is an important determinant of the access of health services or health. He then goes on to explain that many of these low socioeconomic patients do not have health insurance and avoid health services unless there is an emergency. Let's now look at the effects education has on health disparities. Minorities face the many health disparities that they do due to the lack of health education that they have. Just think about it like if you were in school and you weren't taught a certain subject the right way. You're not going to be able to apply what you learned in that subject to your life. The big issue with minorities is not knowing the signs and symptoms of certain diseases. In a recent article that I read by Alvaro Carrasco, he quotes that health disparities are due to the lack of education. He also says that education is also a determinant of health, just like socioeconomic status. Now let's look at the different types of inequalities that minorities have experienced in health services. Throughout history, minorities have been treated unfairly by health services, and this has led to some of the health disparities that they see in their lives. Have you ever been mistreated by someone? Did you have a hard time trusting that person after they treated you that way?
Mhm.
African Americans have had a hard time trusting the health services ever since the Tuskegee syphilis study. In the study, groups of African American men were injected with with the syphilis disease, and then were withheld treatment, was not provided treatment for the disease. In an article that I read by Norman Polythress, he explains that the underrepresented representation of minorities and African Americans in certain health research and studies have been is due to the distrust that African Americans have gained since the distrust towards health services that African Americans have gained since the Tuskegee syphilis study. In another article that I read by Yang Paradis, he explains that in 27 of the 36 studies that he reviewed, there was evidence of racism in the 27. In conclusion, all these disparities that I just talked about can be prevented. As Americans, now that you are informed, as Americans, we can come together as a country and help the minorities groups get out and prevent these health disparities that they deal with in their lives. And how are we going to do that? We're going to do that by closing the socioeconomic gap. 2, by educating minorities as well as everyone else more on health education. And 3, by making sure that everyone receives equal health services. By preventing these health disparities, we as a country can recreate America and create it back to the sole purpose it was created for, and that is equality. Was that good, or should I do it again?
It was really good. You just, I don't know if you're nervous, you just stumbled across a couple words, but everything was perfect.
All right.